Come with us. Yes, sir. Right away. Resume merriment. You are safe now.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm already here. I'm not going to fight through that crowd. How's everybody doing today? All right. Welcome to the Animation Experience here. Okay, there we go. I was going to say, I'll yell. I don't mind. All right, my name is Tony, spelled backwards. That's why not. That's not important. What is important is that we're here to have fun. Don't worry what's on the end result on your paper, okay? Don't worry what kind of picture you come out with. Just keep going through the motions. You'll be fine, just like I do. I just go through the motions. Does everybody know, we are drawing Scar from The Lion King, 1994 version, not the 2019 version. We don't want to subject you to that. So we must be prepared, right? So does everybody have a clipboard? Everybody have a piece of paper with like a figure 8 on it? Yes, that is called guidelines. We normally would have you draw those. You're welcome. And does everybody have a pencil? All right, fantastic. Are they all sharpened pencils? It's more important to have the point than the other end, okay? All right then, we need one more thing. We need to have some kind of... Hold on a second. Try that. Okay. I have to know whether I have to yell or not. Okay, so we need one more thing of inspiration. We need to have, I don't know, well, Walt used to bring animals into the studio for his animators to look at. So should I bring an adult male lion in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I really would, except a couple of our cast members do have cat allergies. And we take these cat allergies very seriously. We'll fix this in a little bit. All right. So instead we went to the Kilimanjaro Safari, and we got your inspiration for you. If you look up at the screens, we'll meet him now.
Meet Dakari, an African lion. He may not look too busy if you come to visit him during the heat of the day. Being a carnivore, he is doing just what he needs to do. His strategy? It may be similar to some teenagers you know, laying down and resting to conserve energy. Lions can sleep up to 20 hours a day. Dakari has this down to an art form. With his schedule, Lion turns out to be a perfect name. Dakari likes to lie in grass, lie in rocks, lie in a shady spot. Dakari seems to get comfortable anywhere. In the wild, food is hard to come by. Not that a male lion would know. The lionesses typically do the hunting and all the caregiving for the family. With all that the females do for the pride, you may be asking, what exactly does this leave for the males to do? Oh yeah, there's that. And more of that. Declaring themselves the protector with a raw herd for miles, Dakari will usually instigate all the noise. Soon after, Kamari and Kinsey will join in, bonding the pride together. His keepers say Dakari's roar is distinctive and purposeful. What is made clear to all? He is the defender of his territory and his family. Lions in the wild are struggling due to conflict with people, over resources, and loss of habitat. The Disney Conservation Fund has supported lion conservation for over 20 years, helping organizations find solutions that benefit people, lions, and their habitats across 8 countries. Come visit Dakari on the Kilimanjaro Safaris to see him in action or not in action. Learn more about lions and how you can help. Now that is something to roar about.
Is everybody properly inspired? Fantastic. Just to add to that, since 1994 when The Lion King came out, we have lost half the population of African lions. That's from 40,000 down to 20,000. We are trying to get that back with the Disney Conservation What they are doing, the Conservation Fund, excuse me. We're going to try to get back to 40,000 by 2050. So ask any of our merchandise people, they'll tell you how to help. Okay. Okay, we're going to start concentrating on our little figure 8 here. As a matter of fact, we're not even going to do that. We're going to go to this first circle, this top circle up here. That is what we are going to concentrate on. And considering Scar is a villain, we are going to start with a V for villain. And we're going to do a very light line, or you can do an imaginary line, from the bottom of our circle, right in the middle, up to that first guideline actually. On both sides, just kind of put a little very light line there, because we're not going to use this part right here. So what we are going to do is we're going to make our eyebrows on that line. The first eyebrow, I'm going to go ahead and start here on my left side here. And I'm going to come up to the second guideline a little bit farther up, and I'm going to come down into a curve. It's going to curve into this line. There's going to be a very slight S curve to it if you want to do it that way. Just above this line, we're going to hook it back down. We're not going to thicken it up quite yet, because we've got another one to do. We're going to do it a little bit asymmetrical. And we're going to put this eyebrow, same thing, we're going to curve down, but we're going to start a little bit farther down. Curve it around, slight little S to it if you want to put that in there, otherwise just straighten it out. And we're going to come back around. So they kind of look like dueling saxophones or something like that. All right, now we can put something that a character called Scar should have. His scar. And we're going to start right up here at that first guideline, and we're going to put a little S curve and another little S curve underneath it to make a little V for villain. And now we can make those eyebrows on fleek. We are going to go ahead and darken them up. On this side, you don't have to worry too much about it. What you see is what you get. Nice high arch. Just thicken those eyebrows. You can see in high definition, I gotta try and make sure my lines match, but once you come out, you won't see it like that. Now on the other side, we're gonna do that same thing. We're gonna thicken up those eyebrows, but when they get up to that scar, we're not gonna color the scar in. We're not gonna go through that scar. Scar tissue does not grow hair, even on a furry lion. And now that we have our eyebrows, we can go on to the eyes. And those are going to be almond shaped, just so happen to be these little diamond shapes that we made with the eyebrows. So I'm going to start with a nice little arch, going up around to that corner, and another one going the other way, filling up that entire space. Don't worry about getting it dark. We are going to make it dark, even darker. Again, start about the same spot on the other side, arch up, so that it arches over to that corner, and then bring it in to a nice almond shape, football shape, eye shape. And then we're going to put a little guy liner on him. We're going to go ahead and darken these up. We want our villain dark and brooding. I mean, we're going to put a little cattail on the end of his eye. It goes with the ensemble. Do the same on the other side. Darken it up nice. A little bit of cattail. I don't like him looking at me without any eyeballs, so I'm going to go ahead and put some eyeballs in. And those are just going to be circles or ovals right there into the top of the eye. Size of a big ball bearing. Once I've got that circle, I can go around, darken it up. right inside there, I'm going to put a dot. Which is really weird because lions have really good eyesight. They see 6 times better than we do at night. And one of it is because they can dilate that pupil very wide. Well, let's put a little light in his eye though. I'm going to go ahead and put a little circle on either side. And just to emphasize it, I'm going to very, very lightly rub my pencil around the rest of the eye. Not very hard. Just kind of like brush it across. Otherwise you just have 2 black eyes and he looks like Little Orphan Annie or something like that. Okay. We're going to go ahead and finish up his eye by putting a little eyelid in. I told you he has to look brooding. And I lied, we didn't finish up the eye yet. We got to put his tear ducts in, but in order to do that, we got to put the bridge of his nose in. So, starting at the very bottom of our eyebrow, the lowest point of our eyebrow, we're going to put a nice curved line into our oval. We'll pick up on that later. The reason I did that was so that I could put his tear ducts in. And that is just kind of a straight line into that bridge, but that doesn't look right. So we're going to make it into a funnel shape. We want it still to look sharp and menacing. Everything about Scar is sharp, menacing. Angles, such as V for villain. While we are this close to his eyes, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and take those eyebrows, I'm going to connect them to that circle with a nice little curved line. And then I'm going to put his mask on him. Now, one of the reasons they see better than us at night is also they have a light patch of skin. The lions, of course, have a light patch of fur underneath their eyes which reflect light. Whether it's moonlight, starlight, bud light, whatever kind of light, it reflects back up into their eyes. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a mask to represent that. We're going to come down just a little bit farther with our eyebrows, just down to about the middle of our eyeballs there. And then we're going to come down and curve right past that guideline and come back into our tear duct. The same on the other side. We're going to come up and make that little mask on him. Now I said they have a light patch of fur under their eyes, lions do. Scar does not. He actually has a dark gray patch around his eyes, meaning that that is one thing that would not help him out hunting at night. But putting this patch on him helps figure out where the rest of the scar is going to be. It's going to be right underneath our first scar, right along that patch. Just a little bit of a tooth, a little V for villain. Now let's go ahead and come out a little bit and get into that oval.
Oh, you're fine. I'm just...
So we have these curved lines that are coming down into the muzzle here. And we're going to make kind of a bell shape. So we're just going to kind of come down again with another little curved line. And we're going to end just before we get to that oval. We want to have a room for the muzzle. So it's just going to be a curve down. And it could be the Liberty Bell, Taco Bell, Belle from Beauty and the Beast, whatever kind of bell you can get in there. I mean, it looks like her dress, doesn't it? A little bit. Let's make her dress into a necktie now. We're going to do another V for villain. From the edge of our bridge of our nose, we're going to just do a very light line down to that little line so that we can make his nose, or at least the nose leather. For those of you unfamiliar with the term nose leather, that would be the booper. Okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to make that straight line into a little bit of a curve. Just kind of coming up. And we're going to make another one coming out from the top. Make kind of a chevron shape, or a very thick bird flying, or a bat. But that's not all. We got to make this look dangerous. So we got to put some nostrils on. Well, we're going to put the nostrils on the outside and make them into hooks. dangerous crochet hooks. If you don't think crochet hooks are dangerous, you've never known my grandmother. Get walloped by one of those. And then you can just color that nose in. Now remember though, stay within the lines, because anything outside the lines might look funny, but it's not. Now I know what kind of audience I have. Yay. Okay, so we have the nose in there, and we're going to keep on going with what we call the philtrum. Everybody's going, oh yeah, the philtrum. What's a philtrum? Well, everybody here has a philtrum. It's right there at the bottom, the top of your lip there, between your lip and your nose. That little groove right there, that little cupid's bow. Yeah. Now, their philtrum goes from their mouth to their nose and brings moisture to their nose. Ours just makes it difficult to shave. So halfway between that little line and the oval, we're going to put just a little line. And then we are going to give him that pout. We're going to go ahead and do another V for villain, but this time up the width of that line that's just below it. You can round it off a little bit, give him a little kitty smile if you want. Now we can finish the muzzle. Little mental relaxation here, a little vacation, guys. We're going to go from that tear duct. We're going to curve into our oval. We're just going to follow the oval around and then break off and go to the end of our mouth. Same on the other side, just right into the oval, around the oval, and break it off to the end of the mouth. Now we can start putting a little bit of hair on him. And we're going to start with some mutton chops, or what I call the cheeks. We're going to come out from where our eyebrows stopped and kind of do a little shark fin. You might say a baby shark fin. Do one on either side, very lightly, because we're going to put fur on that. How do we do fur? You're just going to follow it around and come back on it every once in a while. Follow around, put little points on it, little jagged points like buzzsaws. Think fire. Things that are dangerous. Things that are sharp. Now we're going to go ahead and come down a little bit more so that we can see those other lines, the very, very extreme lines that we have there. And we're going to go ahead and put a beard on him. And we're going to go about halfway between that line for the mouth and that line at the end, just about halfway there. That's about how far we're going to go down with the beard. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little lip on him on either side. And then I'm going to come in and just very lightly come around, thinking about fire when I do this. And when I have something that I like, we'll go ahead and I'll start coming back and putting a little fur in. So he has that little beard at the bottom. Coming up here toward the top, we're going to make his hair slick back, or at least look like it slicks back, because Mufasa's goes forward. So Andreas Deja, who did Scar, wanted it to do the opposite. So we're going to put a little V for villain again. We're going to put a little widow's peak in here. It's going to be a curvy widow's peak though. And once you have that kind of weird bird looking thing there, looks like a bird flying again, I don't know. You can go ahead and trace across the circle on the outside and connect his head to those brow bones. I'm going to bring this right side up, all the way up to the top. And then I'm going to decide, well, how do I want his fur to look? So I'm going to think flames again. With Scar, I think flames are a really good thing to think of. I'm going to put a little bit of a little bit of line work in here, kind of figuring out what I want to do. You do not have to do it as hard as I'm doing it, but I want it to look very, very flame-like and dangerous. looks like the March of Dimes or something. And then I'm going to put a couple more little lines in here just to show that there's hair there. And now I'm going to put a hoodie on him. Yeah, I'm going to put a hoodie on him. And that is just going to be following his head a little bit. Especially this line between the brow and his cheek. I want to get past the cheek and come in. You see what I mean by being a hoodie? It's going to come right past that, that guideline. And I have to do that so I know where to put his ears. Now his ears are going to be V-shaped, but kind of a curved V-shape, and they're going to be on their sides. So they're kind of, I don't know, they look like pita bread maybe, I don't know. And they're going to come off just about the top of the brows. They're going to come down, and they're going to come back toward our mutton chops here, on the little side. Because he does have that hair between his ears. And you can just go ahead and go in here like that and kind of add the hair as you go along. Now the outside of his mane is actually going to come from the top line, but it's not going to start down here. Kind of aim toward your top line a little bit. You can go right behind the ear with it. Very lightly again. I'll put a little bit farther down. You'll come out to the other side of the ear. You're going to flare out until you get to this nose line right here. Once you get to that nose line, you're going to do one final V for villain. It's just going to come in to that very bottom line. To put the ears in, we're going to make it look like a teacup. Nice little fancy teacup here. Little handle. And it wouldn't be a handle if it did not have the inside in as well. That can be a little bit more curved. And all this is just inside of his ear. It's just nothing but wax. But once you have that ear in, you can go in and shape his head a little bit. Just come in and start putting a little bit of fur in.
Well, Pepper's on her way. She picked up the off her truck.
However you want it. Does not have to look like mine. I prefer it not to look like mine, actually. Not because I think I'm doing a lousy job, but if everybody's looked the same, it wouldn't be animation. So much easier going downhill. There we go. Now this is something you can do, because here's the thing about Scar has the darker mane of the two brothers, which is really wrong because he's the younger brother, and a mane gets darker as a lion gets older. But we don't want to go jet black on him, so we're going to take the side of our pencil and just kind of brush through his mane. You don't have to stay within the lion. Just a quick brush through. Of course, we do have one more thing to do for him, but I want to get the mane in first. That way we don't have to go back over the line. I'm going to go ahead and darken it just a little bit behind the ears. Try and make it pop a little bit. But he is a cat, and all cats have these. We put some whiskers on his muzzle. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on one side. 1, 2, 3, We'll do 5 on the other side for symmetry's sake. And now 20 minutes ago, there was nothing on your paper but a figure 8. Now, you should have King Claudius of our little Hamlet play. Scar. By the way, Scar was not his original name. His original name was not Scar. His parents did not name him going, well, maybe he'll get lucky. His original name was Taka. They had Mufasa and Taka. Mufasa, meaning ruler of all. Taka, meaning trash. Do you wonder why he changed his name? You should be proud of your trash. Sign your name, folks. My name is Tony Ross, and I am proud to be a Disney artist. And the year is 2020. If you look to the right of our studio, of our theater, you'll see black and white pictures of some people you may not know, but you notice that they are doing some kind of animation work. They are some of our famous animators, some of our early animators, including Retta Scott, who was our first female animator, Mary Blair, who became our
Come with us. And serve right away.